playback music.
Race to 2, call of 2. And here comes Brian. Looks like a deep reach. And then a change of plan. He calls with the 8.
No,
Gives me that tingly feeling inside when these three players play a pot.
well, I would have got her more stuck.
Well, man, he's gonna wait for her to use the bathroom and sneak some money under the table.
What a flop.
Oh, wow, this is it. What a flop here. We've got ace, ace, jack board here. Ivy has flopped, bottoms full, and Patrick Antonius has flopped trip aces. And both these players are very deep. Each player has over $400,000.
When I moved to Vegas in '93, the big game was
The
like
pot is only $12,000.
I'm willing to bet it's going to go up at some point in this hand.
That was the biggest game.
Probably a good assumption.
Chip came down for that game. And then it was a big deal when we kind of kicked it up to 8 and 16, and that was kind of the regular game.
15.
Patrick Antonius re-raises, puts it to 15,000.
There were bigger games, weren't there? I mean,
Well, they're
And obviously, Patrick Antonius cannot beat ace king, ace queen, or ace jack.
we're like the pros and the
Little does he know that Ivy's got
together on a regular
pocket
They're
jacks.
always gonna be,
don't worry.
and the pot is $27,000. And Ivy's, his eyes are just lighting up here, just trying to figure out how do I maneuver this pot to make as much as I possibly can.
But I mean, you know, they used to play.
57.
They were playing like 1-200.
And he is going to re-raise right away. He makes it 50 total.
He was just trying to launder money. Chip and win.
Phil Ivey not going to wait
I heard he
to
was
build
doing
this
that.
pot up.
Yeah, I read that in tape. I read that Pamela
Patrick Antonius does have some outs here. He can catch an ace or a 10. And he is going to call this. And look at this. This
I
pot
heard conflicting Antonio and then the
is already $107,000.
you don't know.
The turn is the 5 of diamonds.
That's a great card for Phil. He can be pretty certain that Patrick's not re-raising him with ace-5.
Although, if you remember correctly, Antonius did win a huge pot with ace-4 against Phil Ivey earlier.
$100,000.
And this is a huge bet here. Phil Ivey is making a $100,000 bet. Those are $25,000 chips. The pot is $207,000, $100,000 to Antonius, and this is the exact reason Ivey rebought.
Well, that $100,000 bet is really going to confuse Patrick. He doesn't know whether he's up against an ace-king, an ace-queen. He tried to find out with the 15,000 bet.
Cool.
And look at this, Patrick Antonius is going to call.
A 5 wouldn't get him any action, but would put him in front. A 10 would be a huge river. It's a queen.
It's a queen, it changes nothing, and for once, Ivey has not gotten unlucky.
Might scare him a little, though, that queen.
Of course. Remember, right now,
They're all talking at the start of this hand. Now everyone's watching. This pot is 307,000, and it could be getting bigger.
Phil Ivey trying to think, how much can I bet here? This is an enormous pot. Phil Ivey, the master, trying to figure out exactly how to get the big call.
A decent-sized bet from Ivey, and Patrick should be able to get away from the hand. There isn't really much he can beat here.
No, you're correct there. But the pot is $300,000. What about the human side of it? Can you really let $300,000 go?
He's got to decide what he wants to bet, and is he going to pass if he gets re-raised and puts 150,000 in there?
I think he's probably going to bet about $200,000 here, maybe even more. The pot is $300,000. Phil Ivey, an absolute master.
He might even just declare all in. He's sitting with about the pot size in front of him, around the 300,000 mark.
And could Phil Ivey get even in just one hand? Absolutely phenomenal poker. And what is Patrick Antonius thinking right now, Gary? As he waits for Phil Ivey to make a bet.
He's probably trying to decide, what do I do if he bets? What do I do if he checks?
Phil Ivey, obviously really thinking this through. The wheels are turning.
He's gone back for the blacks.
Those are $25,000 each. This could really sort him out. And look at this. This is the bet. It's $225,000. Phil Ivey has just bet $225,000. This pot is over $500,000. It is actually $250,000. It's 12 black chips. The pot is $557,000. What do you do if you're Patrick Antonius?
$557,000. The only thing he can really beat now is a bluff. He knows if Phil Ivey is re-raising him on the flop, a third bet, he should have ace-king, ace-queen, ace-jack, jacks full. But it's also got to be going through his mind that Phil Ivey is stuck, and he is stuck big. This could be his one chance to get out of it, to steal this pot. Is Patrick Antonius going to make the call?
Phil Ivey like a stone here. Patrick Antonius trying to figure it out. The superstar from Finland really puts the test here. $250,000 bet. If he calls this bet, Ivey will actually be ahead.
That's all it's going to cost. Just 10 black chips.
Exactly, 10.
Doesn't sound a lot. Just a little bit of plastic. But that is $250,000.
This pot is over $500,000.
He's come back to play with the chips.
Not much Antonius can beat here. But can he say goodbye to that big a pot? You can just feel the tension in the room.
I call.
Cool.
He says call! This is a monster, and it is the hand that Phil Ivey has been waiting for. $807,000 pot. Incredible.
Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Patrick Antonius calls that. It's over an $800,000 pot. This is absolutely unbelievable. This very well might be the biggest pot in televised history. Over $800,000.
music.
And he'll certainly be looking to do that again here today. Question isn't will he raise, question is how much.
Raised to 100,000.
This time it's a min raise, 100,000. So he's varying things up a bit. He's found the 5-6 of spades. So is he hoping to see a flop here, Joe?
No, I think he's just making a raise in position and mixing it up a little bit rather than moving all in every hand.
How much do you have, Fabian?
Confusing his opponents a little bit.
That's 3.
335?
35.
Call.
So Igor Kurganov's going to make the call
Can have
with
cards
the Jack
in the
7
middle.
of spades. We'll see a flop.
Heads up to the flop.
Igor Kurganov's the first player to speak. 2-9-3 with 2 spades, so both players
Check.
have flopped a flush draw.
Trickett doesn't want to see a spade on the turn here.
Bet 80,000. 80,000.
So Sam's bet 80,000. Action's back on Igor.
Igor could quite easily check raise here with his spade draw. He's taking the safe
Call.
option, he's just calling.
To the turn.
So we'll see the turn card, and it's the 4 of spades. Wow, what a card. That has made Sam Trickett a straight flush. He is absolutely unbeatable in this hand. And Igor Kurganov has got a jack-high flush, so he'll think that he's unbeatable. Both players will think they've got the best hand. This will be very, very interesting to watch.
This is what we call a cooler, Jono. All the chips are going into the middle. Sam has the absolute nuts. He's got the best hand possible. Igor's going to call 100%.
So Sam's bet out.
Bet.
He's bet 160,000 behind a check from Igor. So Igor's trying to trap him here, thinking that he's got the best hand. Little does he know that Sam is unbeatable.
Mullen, call.
All in call.
Joined it. Oh my god.
All in, call. Sam says you're drawing dead and shows him the straight flush.
No mercy, Sam. Straight away, call, you're drawing dead.
Seen this?
Jesus Christ, man.
I think Sam's bewildered.
Maybach music.
To get through the main event. Back to the featured table now. 3 players in a hand. Mike Matusow, Roberto Romanello, and Greg Geller. Matusow with pocket 9s. Romanello has pocket jacks. Geller leads them both with 2 kings.
3 big pocket pairs. I smell trouble.
Flop now is ace, jack, king. Geller hit his set of kings. Romanello a set of jacks, and that missed Matusow.
Set over set. Now I really smell trouble.
Matusow does check. Romanello owns a fish and chip shop in Wales, and he checks. And Geller checks.
Geller should have fired away. Too many draws on that board.
Turn card is a 10. Geller still leads with his 3 kings.
But see, someone's got to have Broadway now, don't they? Well, nobody does, but somebody should.
Matusow checked it. Romanello now checks it over to Geller, who leads, and he checks.
Well, I got to get a court order to make this guy bet?
Another 10 on the river. Geller gets the check mark with kings full. Matusow's lucky he didn't hit that 9. He checks. Romanello now will bet 1,800 with jacks full.
Yeah, bad time for jacks full. Man, you're right, Lon. Pocket jacks are impossible to play.
Geller now, kings full and a check mark, will raise it to 6,000.
Well, now Geller's check looks brilliant. He's got Romanello trapped.
Matusow gets out of the way. Now to Romanello, needs 4,200 to call.
Just don't raise me.
Geller playing games with Romanello.
You sure if I pass?
Pardon me?
You sure if I pass?
No.
One time?
No.
The only thing preventing Romanello from pushing all in, and I would have yelled out Heidi Ho an hour ago, was that Geller made a big pre-flop raise, so he could have pocket aces or pocket kings. And unless Romanello's going Hollywood on us, he's actually considering mucking his jacks full, which would be an unconscious laydown. I mean, if he lays this down, I'll move to a Franciscan monastery and become head chef.
Okay, I'll show.
Geller trying to move things along.
Is he really thinking of folding this?
Okay.
He does.
No way he folds.
Yeah, you said he would. Let's go. Fold. You're out. Your hand's dead. Let's go.
And shows.
Wow. How do you fold that hand?
Romanello folds jacks full.
Wow.
And that is the player's good instinct moment.
Oh my God. I could never have folded that hand.
Unbelievable. Nice fold.
Wow. Okay, I would never have folded that hand. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you.
I knew I was beat.
That is the fold of the tournament that I've ever seen.
Are there even grocery stores near monasteries?
How do I draw tables with people like this? I mean, there's 72 million idiots out there, and I got to drop guys laying jacks full down and being right.
Romanello may sell fish for a living, but he showed he's not one there.
Maybach music.
Full table here at the 2010 Aussie Millions. This is the big game. Buy-in cost you somewhere anywhere between $100,000 and $250,000. And the action is on Andrew Feldman from the UK.
Andrew, a very tidy player, but he's been pretty quiet so far. Not now, though. Under the gun, he makes it 2,100 to go.
Well, he's got 9-10 of hearts, an interesting hand, suited connector. And there is our Hungarian billionaire, Sandor, in the action. He's picked up 9 jack offsuit.
Sandor feels lucky. What about Massa?
Well, Massa's picked up pocket 8s here. Could potentially raise. No, he just makes the call, playing a bit carefully. Gus gets out of the way, around to Durr, Tom Dwan, who, as you can see by the amount of chips in front of him, is having a very, very good day.
And that has inspired him to make the call with just a 5-3 offsuit.
So 4 to the flop, and here it comes. It is an ace 8-4 flop, massive flop for Masa Kagawa, flopping middle set. Dwan has an inside straight draw.
Nothing there for Feldman. But he is going to make the continuation bet.
5,500 is the amount. Sandor gets out of the way. Round to Massa now with his middle set.
A lot of blinking from the Japanese man. I wonder whether the expert players will be picking up on that. So he's sitting with him for quite a while.
He decides not to raise. He's just going to call here, trapping. Now,
is that pricing Tom Dwan in?
Well, with that many chips in front of you, like you mentioned earlier, you know, sometimes you can speculate with risky hands, and it looks like that's what he's doing. And he's reaching for chips, so he's not going anywhere. He makes the call, and we go to the turn. And the turn is a 2 of spades, so Tom Dwan's speculation has paid off. And he checks.
Check.
And Feldman checks as well, so it's over to Massa now, who at the flop was such a favourite. And now could be betting into, well, a storm, really.
Yeah, he's going to need the board to pair. We know he's not going to get Tom Dwan off this hand. Tom at the moment has the nuts.
He bets 11,000. Now it's over to Durr. Will he choose to raise? He's generally been slow playing his monster hands, as we saw a little earlier with Chris Ferguson.
But Massa is no Chris Ferguson, and it may be that Tom will play it differently against the less experienced player.
Looks like he's reaching for the bigger priced chips, the more expensive ones.
Yeah, remember this is Value for value, the same as cash. So it's like he's taking a big wad out of his wallet.
And he makes a very big raise. Andrew Feldman gets out of the way, and the action is back over to Massa. It's a tough spot, really.
Yep. The shipping magnate, I'm sure, knows his way around a boardroom. He's also a successful poker player, certainly in terms of Japanese rankings. But playing against Tom Dwan is a whole different kettle of sushi.
Well, he's re-raising here. He's decided, I think I've got the best hand. $49,200 to call for Tom Dwan, who has the nuts. He's decided not to slow play this hand, and it looks as though it's paid off at this point. Massa still has outs to the river.
So Tom Dwan's going to be putting him either on a set or ace-king here. A big, big ace anyway.
Well, he's made an incredible call at the flop, and it has paid off. Right now, he's just trying to figure out how to get the most chips out of Massa. Massa still has a lot of outs. But right now, Durr is in the best position possible. And he makes a call, so choosing not to re-raise Massa right there. Massa still has a lot of money left in front of him. So Massa looking for a repeat. And the river is a king of hearts, so Tom Dwan has the nuts.
And if Tom Dwan was putting him on ace-king, he checks!
Wow, that is very courageous and gutsy poker from Tom Dwan. Checking there, risking a possible check from Massa behind him and not getting paid off on the river. And look at that, it's paid off. Massa picks up $100,000 in one chip and bets 70 of it.
Yeah, even though he'll get some change back from that plaque that's gone in, he's more or less committing himself.
Line moves all in.
And there it is, Tom Dwan pulling the trigger, Massa quickly calling, and look at the disgust in his face as he sees such a big turn card for Tom Dwan and such a terrible card for him.
Amazing. There is $400,000 and more in the middle of this base, and Tom Dwan has just won it with a 3-5 offsuit.
Well, he took a big risk, and it certainly paid off.
Maybach music.
An actor and son of Goldie Hawn, who was at our featured table today.
And of course, he's the brother of actress Kate Hudson.
Action is on Sam Farha. On the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam, Farha has ace-10 offsuit. Sammy's going to bet 200 chips. Everybody in the room starts with their buy-in amount, 10,000 chips. Over to Oliver Hudson in 2002. He was one of People Magazine's 50 most beautiful people.
I don't see it.
Pocket 10s.
Raise.
And Oliver has announced a raise.
Raise.
He's going to make it 450 to Sam Farha.
Sammy doesn't like to wait a long time to get his feet wet. This is the first hand of the session, and he's going to call with his ace-10 offsuit.
Oliver Hudson in the lead right now with his pocket 10s. The flop is ace, ace, 10. Both get full houses, but Sammy's got the nuts.
You gotta be kidding me. This is the very first hand of the main event for both of these guys. Hudson has 10s full. I mean, he can't get up. This is a disaster movie for him.
Farha earns the check mark, but both players check.
Both were slow playing it, and Mr. Hudson is in bad shape. He's got the 10s full. He's not going anywhere.
A full house for Oliver Hudson, but it's second best. He bets 300 chips. Farha raises now to 1,300. That's a lot for this point of the tournament. Well, hand one.
All in.
And Hudson goes all in. And Farha calls immediately.
Oh, my God.
Very first hand of their main event. Sammy's got the nuts, and Oliver Hudson is in shock. I mean, someone needs to tell him he can get up. He is drawing dead. He's going home.
A meaningless jack on the river, and Hudson's gone.
First hand.
Nice hand, Sam. Thank you.
That is incredible.
Nice hand. That's it. Holy
Hey, nice hand, man. I do. That's
the way to get beat, I guess.
He just blew through 10 grand in about 90 seconds. Those are Paris Hilton numbers.
I had to win the first hand, though.
Sammy Farha, on the other hand, doubles his chips in the very first hand.
Sammy, the first one to 20,000 chips today.
Oh.
Made it look easy.
Maybach music.
So 10 players at this featured table still, including Jennifer Harman, who was absent from last year's main event. She was undergoing a kidney transplant, successful, we're happy to say. She's got pocket queens and raises to 200. Corey Zeidman from Coral Gables, Florida, made a stud final table last year. 9-8 of diamonds.
Call.
Action on Brady Davis in his first World Series of Poker. He's 34 years old, from Illinois.
You cannot get up from a table here, Lon, without tripping over an internet guy in a Red Sox cap.
3 to our flop now. The flop, 10 Jack Queen. Harman with a set, but Zeidman flops a queen high straight.
Boy, that is the prelude to some fireworks usually.
Davis checks over to Harman, who's got a set of queens, and she bets 500 chips on Zeidman.
2,000.
He raises it up to 2,000 with that straight.
When you're holding the two smallest cards of a straight, you want to raise everybody else out because you don't want somebody else to get lucky and get a higher straight on you.
Well, he forced Brady Davis out. Now action on Jen Harman. It's 1,500 more to Jen. That is a lot at this stage of the tournament.
She plays it safe and just calls.
Zeidman with the lead with his straight as we go to the turn. The turn is a 10 of diamonds. Harman makes a full house.
And boy, Lon, that's virtually the worst card in the deck that could come out for Zeidman because it gives Jennifer Harman, who checks, an almost unbeatable hand and makes Corey think his hand is even better now because of the straight flush draw on top of his made straight.
1,000.
Zeidman bets 1,000.
And it's just bad luck for Corey Zeidman. He flops the straight, and then the next card gives him a straight flush draw, but if he makes the flush, he can't win. He can only win with the straight flush, and there's only one card left in the deck that could do that for him. Jen in the driver's seat.
It's 1,000 chip bet to Jen Harman, and she's reaching.
3,000.
She raises it to 3,000.
And it is head-shaking time now for Corey Zeidman. He doesn't know it, but only one card in the deck, the 7 of diamonds, would save him.
How can I get off of this hand?
Every decision in the main event magnified. Both have monster hands. You lose this hand, your day just might be over.
I think he might have ace-king, actually. I was hoping it wasn't that. Now I'm hoping something else.
Yeah, if she had ace-king, she'd have the higher straight.
Wow.
And his flush, if he made it, then would beat her.
Jeez. How can I possibly muck this hand?
He can only muck it if he believes that she has the full house already.
I call.
He makes the call. We're going to the river. Jen Harman with a huge advantage. And now the river card. Oh, the perfect card for Zeidman. The 7 of diamonds gives him the straight flush.
And he even checks it again, which an amateur would do, to make sure he's got it. Wow.
Action on Jen Harman, who has the full house. She makes it 3,000 to put Zeidman all in.
Why is Corey acting as if he's agonized?
I guess I could do a lot of sightseeing if I lose this hand.
You can't lose the hand.
All in.
It's over. Zeidman takes the pot.
Straight flush.
I knew you had that hand. Oh, mamma mia.
It was hard to get off. I'm like, gosh, I flopped the straight. I'm like, ace-king is the only hand that's going to beat me now.
Don't put a 7 of diamonds up there.
Oh, nice hand. Thank you. Come on, a little for that. Yeah, all right, yeah.
Jennifer's been told she looks like she's in pain when she plays. She's got good reason right now.
Takes a lot to beat you in a hand. Straight flush home.
Jennifer not getting any consolation from Zeidman. Harman hurting early at the main.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.